Hello YouTube, this is Nite Misfortune bringing you yet another video from the Serpents Open Fall 2020 tournament. The game is of course Supreme Commander 2, and we are going to jump into this match fairly shortly, but we have another round of 16 game here between FoxTermelon and Skeptical Skeleton. Skeptical Skeleton probably is not well known to many of you, but he certainly has shown an impressive performance in the group stage, and I'm excited to see how he does in this match against one of the toughest opponents I think we have right now playing the game, FoxTermelon, of course. But before we jump into the match, I did want to note something, as I recently realized that the Invitational is fast encroaching. It's actually not this weekend, but next weekend. And that is very, very soon. And I did want to lay out all the videos from this tournament before then. So, and I have other videos that I wanted to put out before the tournament as well. So you're going to get a bunch of spam videos from me in the next couple of days. I'm going to be putting out 2 per day until Sunday, which the final will come out. So I've kind of bit myself in the foot. I thought I had a little more time, but exciting news. You know, Invitational is coming up. If you have not heard about it, it's going to be the top 8 players of our game, and you do not want to miss that. It's going to be December 12th and 13th, so don't miss it. It's going to be on my Twitch, but of course all the replays will be uploaded to my YouTube, so you don't have to worry about it if for some reason you're celebrating the holidays with your family like a normal human being. But you know what? Maybe it's worth to put it on before the fire and, you know, enjoy it as a family. It's going to be a great time. Great time. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this match. We have, as I said, FoxTermelon versus Skeptical. I'm actually going to pause here. I'm going to set game speed to 3. Pause at 5 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, play. Now let's introduce our players. In the left-hand side of QAI Labs, we have our orange UEF commander, the man that has shown some great things against some very interesting strategies in the group stage. It is Skeptical Skeletons. He's opening up with a double land factory opening here, pushing his ACU up front. He's actually building those with his engineers. Very interesting. And his opponent, the one and only, the definite non-Korean Korean, showing a very high level of skill in throughout the SCS. So far, we have our white Aeon Commander, Mr. FoxTermelon, doing, it looks like 1 air opening so far, bringing his commander up front. And probably once he sees this double land opening, yep, he's putting down double land for himself. There are loyalists already out on the field. Looks like Skeptical is going to continue to push forward. This is a little ballsy here. It looks like he realizes the same thing here and going to put down an anti-air turret here in the back to protect himself. Let's see if there's an anti-air installation on one of these factories. Doesn't look like there is yet. And let's see what FoxTermelon is going to choose to do. Looks like he's going to pull those planes back, anticipating a push by Skeptical Skeleton. Doing very, very good, safe play here. But so far, not very many tanks are coming up. Well, actually, now they're beginning to roll out very quickly, and actually he's pumping them out really quickly. Looks like he's assisting his factories with his commander as well, building that radar finally. And so far this is pretty standard FoxTermelon play, I want to say. There's an anti-air turret right here which should shut down these bombers from even bombing this outer mass extractor, but if he gets a couple more planes, I think he'll be able to snipe it. There isn't too much coverage of that AA for them to fly from right to left or left to right here. So very nice snipe. Oh wait, he actually doesn't get the radar. How did that happen? Probably mismicroed his bombing run a little bit, losing a plane instead. That's a very nice pickup for Skeptical there. And so far there's no Brackman. I think he should have radar coverage of this base, and he should probably see that FoxTermelon has started to pump out land in extreme quantities. FoxTermelon also going for that research stations already, and probably going to be starting to work towards that teleport. Although on this map, I've been thinking a lot, and the Urchmaws might actually be very interesting to explore as a possibility here. FoxTermelon, as always, great movement with the air, finding those mass extractors that are out unprotected. However, there is an anti-air turret here on this factory, but of course it does not do as much damage as a standalone turret. Actually going to manage to pick off this, nope, but doesn't lose a plane. Wow, wonderful micro by FoxTermelon. Oh man, I always say this, but this guy truly knows how to micro his air. Losing another plane, but honestly, that was for 4 passes. That's actually pretty decent. And trading a Weedobo for a single mass extractor is pretty good. It's pretty good. This engineer is going to go all the way around to rebuild that mass extractor. That's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. Did he lose one of his engineers? Nope. Nope. The other one is here assisting. There's the fight up front here. FoxTermelon has teched to shield, so this is going to be a very difficult fight, especially because Skeptical only has those loyalists, which don't do well against tanks. And there's a point defense coming up from FoxTermelon. That's quite of an unfortunate situation here. Skeptical pushing his commander, and unfortunately that's a miss micro, and that is when FoxTermelon can just pick your commander off. Whoa! What? What? Wow, that's a... wow. That game began as a miss micro by Skeptical and turned into a miss micro by FoxTermelon. That is something you don't see him do very often. That was a complete miss micro there. And just as adapters were showing up on the field. And FoxTermelon falls in game 1 on QAI Labs. Skeptical Skeleton taking a very quick and, I don't want to say decisive because he did make a couple of mistakes. I think Brackman were absolutely necessary here. But, yeah, FoxTermelon makes a mistake going down 0-1. We're going to jump into our game 2, and let's see if Skeptical can pull out a miracle win against FoxTermelon and move on into the quarterfinals. I'll be right back in just a second. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 between FoxTermelon and Skeptical Skeleton. The map is Coalition Shipyard. We're going to start with our player introduction. Starting with the north this time, we have our white Aeon commander. It is FoxTermelon, starting off with 1 air factory. Once again, doing all the eco things, and most likely he's going to be moving his commander up front after he completes those 2 core mass extractors. His opponent on the bottom, we have our orange Cybern Commander pulling out a very impressive win, of course, due to, largely in part to FoxTermelon's miss micro. It is Skeptical Skeleton starting off with a double air factory, and this could actually be very good for him. Of course, I would have suggested him to place these factories before the mass extractors, which would give him the most optimal advantage here. And, FoxTermelon has been known to, in this situation, to maybe grab a little cheeky TML. I think one of these, I think this scenario fits it well. There was a nice interview with him, of course, after, I believe it was the Gamer Replays tournament. Or maybe something else. I don't remember. He's won so much, I don't remember exactly which interview it was. But he talked about how he selects the TML strategy. It was very, very interesting to hear. It's always interesting to hear the perspectives of these winners talk about how they select the strategies. Yeah, and it looks like Skeptical Skeleton just barely manages to push or pull out his first Gemini here and doesn't even catch this scout. That's quite unfortunate. Pulls back his Wasp, or sorry, not Wasp. Why do I call Geminis Wasps? That's not the best there from me. I should probably know what they're called after 10 years of playing this game. But yeah, so far Skeptical is behind on air despite having 2 air factories. They're producing, so ultimately I think he is going to grab a lot of a lead, but it might not be enough time here as FoxTermelon is pushing his commander down the center. This is going to end up being a very strong push, especially supported by that engineer. That commander can tank a lot of damage building anti-air towers here. I'm not sure if he's meaning to build 2 here. But this is going to be a very difficult push. This is something we saw Vanity do very successfully on this map. And I think other players also really like to utilize the strategy where if your opponent opens completely air, you're going to grab the center position. And if you do, because this map is so narrow, the air of your opponent can't do that much. Of course, you can pick off these outer mass extractors, which is why FoxTermelon is not really going for them. It's just a brilliant play by FoxTermelon. You know, he's thinking of the long term here and completely countering his opponent, in my opinion. That's a lot of engineers, by the way, making their way down. I'm not sure why he's building that many engineers. They're not really needed in these big quantities early on. And, yep, sure enough, FoxTermelon doing his crown move here with the tactical missile launcher. And let's see what those engineers are going to do. Probably going to go and try and capture some things. Skeptical still has not placed down his first round factory, and that's fairly troubling. Let's see if he recognizes that this TML is coming. Of course, there's a double anti-air tower here. Now, that's not the best position for it. I'm not sure why FoxTermelon has decided to do this. You know, when you're down 0-1, you really want to maximize your potential here. And especially next to your tactical missile launcher, like, that's not the best of choices. I believe if he ground fires, if Skeptical Skeleton ground fires right here, he might be able to take out all 3 structures, if provided he has enough planes to take out all of them independently. And somehow Skeptical is just not managing to capitalize on his double air factory here. He only has 6 planes here. Actually 7, 8, 9. But for some reason, he's just not really making it work. Oh boy, that was probably a land factory here that was going to get sack capped. But I think Skeptical either control K. That looked like a control K. Or maybe a control D. I don't know. But now there's a... oh man. No. That was a capture. Okay, that makes sense. No. That was a structure detonate. Yeah, because these engineers are going down in their health here. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I'm not sure what the air is doing now. Flying over the double anti-air tower. That's unfortunate for Skeptical here. And all FoxTermelon really has to do here is push. And a lot of core mass extractors have fallen. Skeptical is not even trying to place down another land factory. Okay, now he does, but I think it's a little too late here. FoxTermelon with this very nasty push down the center with a TML. I completely expected this when I saw the double air factory coming out. Skeptical probably has not seen the Game of Replays tournament. Oh boy. This is rough. Losing all 4 core mass extractors. This mass extractor has fallen to the engineer progression here. And it looks like Structure Detonate did manage to pick off the last engineer over here. I don't know why he has a research station queued up, of all things, right now. That is not something you will want to be building. And I think this is going to be ultimately FoxTermelon's game. I'm going to speed this up here, because I also know how this game ends. This particular game. And it does take a little while to resolve here. Even though I have not watched it all the way to the end, looks like FoxTermelon is going to PD creep here. And there is a point defense here. Looks like... okay, and yep, Skeptical Skeleton goes underwater. Oh, wow. Wow, that is... yeah, Skeptical Skeleton is over here off map. Somehow this got captured, which is, I guess, a really good play by Skeptical. And he's getting a research station over here on the left. Why are there more TMLs being built here? I'm not quite sure. Oh my gosh, Skeptical... oh my goodness! Skeptical actually captures a TML! What? Well... yeah, and this is where you say GG Skeptical, unfortunately. You know, even if you manage to get jump jets and overcharge, I think FoxTermelon is going to be smart enough to, you know, counteract that. He's trying to do some naval things over here, but unfortunately for him, you know, this air is going to do plenty of fine. And FoxTermelon knows exactly how to counteract this. Vilfanja coming out now. And he actually finds this base over here. So very well done. Gonna pick off all these engineers. I think he forgets about the last engineer over here. Nope, he does not. Gets that engineer. And now that Vilfinja is gonna start looking. And this is just a matter of the Vilfinja finding his opponent. He is going the wrong way, though. That's quite unfortunate. And yeah. Unfortunately, this has turned into a hunt. And I urge players to own their wins and, be respectful when they win and own their losses as well. So when you're in this position, you generally don't have very many chances. Of course, there are points in time where you could snag a win, but not against a player like FoxTermelon. And Skeptical, you did a wonderful job in game 1, but FoxTermelon manages to, with his very solid play, counteracting his opponent's strategy to push down the center and tie this series 1-1. We're going to go to the next and final map in this best out of 3 to see who moves on to the quarterfinal. I will be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the third and final game in this best out of 3 series between FoxTermelon and Skeptical Skeleton. We are in the map called Igneous. Let's go ahead and pause the game in 3, 2, 1, go. We are game speed 3. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. It is our white AI commander with the name of FoxTermelon, spawning in the bottom right of the Igneous map, opening up with a double air factory. And his opponent on the top left of the map, opening up with a similar double air opening. It is our brown Cybern commander with the name of Skeptical Skeleton. And I didn't say this, but both of these players, of course, are playing their respective factions in the tournament, so none of them are random. So that is why they are Cybern and Aeon every game. If you don't know the format of SCS tournaments, you pick a faction and you stick with it for the whole tournament. Of course, random is a valid choice, but nevertheless, I think everybody already kind of knows that. Igneous is a new map for the tournament. It was a very interesting map to see. It has actually been played a few times. I think, was it played in the final? I don't remember if it was played in the final, but I know the semifinals definitely included it. And it was very interesting to see players play it. Some players don't like air maps, which is a totally valid, opinion. I don't particularly like certain elements of air, but I think this map allows for very interesting. I think air maps in general allow for just a very different archetype to be played, and it's always interesting to see how players, especially those that might not necessarily like air, how they deal with air and air maps in general. And different air maps have different features. For example, this one has a narrow choke point surrounded by water everywhere. Very similar to Serpent Isles, I want to say. And, different ones have different features. Like, for example, Emerald Crater has 3 battlegrounds that you can fight on. So it becomes very interesting to see the different strategies that vary. We see Skeptical Skeleton pushing towards the center, building a radar, going to grab this mass point. Oh, by the looks of it, not really. But he already sent an engineer over here to the bottom. Looks like he knows. He's actually ahead on mass production here. Very, very impressive play from Skeptical Skeleton. Clearly, he has been practicing, and maybe he has been getting coaching from a certain other brown commander who incidentally likes to play brown a lot, but maybe not necessarily Cybern. There's an air engagement here, however, and Skeptical actually does not look like he has a very good engagement here. Yes, he ends up losing all of his air, and FoxTermelon takes that first win in this match, an important win that can ultimately result in his win in this game. I'm not sure why Skeptical wasn't fighting over his own anti-air here. I think that would have been much better, and I think he might have even won this. And FoxTermelon looks like he doesn't want to capitalize on this. Surprising to see him not do that. But Skeptical Skeleton, oh my goodness. Yeah, he's definitely surprising me in this tournament. It was only 4 planes, that's why he didn't manage to pick off this radar. So that was his only mistake there. But capitalizing on the Air Force being out of position there to try and bomb something, that is great play. That is a great play by Skeptical Skeleton. And you can certainly see why he was able to reach the round of 16 here. FoxTermelon, not able to catch those planes, is going to try and bomb something here, realizing there's an anti-air turret. Actually, there's an anti-air installation, so you could probably pick this off. And unfortunately, Skeptical's air is right here. There's a... Okay. Narrowly manages to escape that. I don't know why he's pulling back all the way over there. That's actually not good. I think that's ultimately what Skeptical Skeleton's big mistake is this game, is that he's just doing a little bit of weird stuff with his air, allowing for, at the very least, he's allowing for openings for FoxTermelon's air to come in and bomb these mass extractors. And that's the second mass extractor that has fallen for for Skeptical Skeleton. And meanwhile, FoxTermelon, even though he's still, I think, behind on mass extraction. Wow. Skeptical actually did a marvelous job. Marvelous job expanding here. But of course, it doesn't matter when you don't have air control, unfortunately. And you should probably have a little bit more of an air production capability at this point with this much mass. FoxTermelon already has 4 of his pack trees. Looks like he's gonna... Oh, he was trying to go land, but he doesn't want to pursue that anymore. And Skeptical, with his economy, has managed to squeeze out 5 air factories, which, you know, if there is a way of coming back into this game, it's going to be outproducing your opponent. But this is a very bad engagement for Skeptical. His planes are not firing at all there. And only now do they begin firing, but at this point, there's only 3 of them left. FoxTermelon taking out Skeptical's Air Force. Once again, that is a very unfortunate engagement by Skeptical. Looks like he's going to try and bring his ACU over here, but honestly, this is a very scary Air Force. I don't think that's enough. That's definitely not enough of an anti-air over here to deal with this. FoxTermelon not even bothering to bomb this anti-air station. Okay, now he does. And he already has shields on his planes. Skeptical does not have any upgrades. No, he has some stars on his planes. But once again, he's going to lose his Air Force here. There's no anti-air here anymore. Engaging at the wrong time again. I'm not sure there is a right time at this point in time. But FoxTermelon now has a very commanding lead in air. He's going to continue to take out these mass extractors. Continue with his endless barrage of bombs. And is going to now start bombing the core mass extractors. Probably doesn't need to. I think he has enough to snipe Skeptical at this point. Skeptical only now is going to try and escape into the water, and to his unfortunate luck, he flies directly under... oh no. FoxTermelon sees the out of position ACU and is going to bomb him. 2 volleys should be enough here, as Skeptical Skeleton does end up going down. 3 unlucky engagements with air. Otherwise, I think he was doing very good on his opening build. Quite unfortunate, and I know he was a little upset about this loss because I distracted him apparently in the middle of the game by pinging him. But he was chatting in Discord, so that's why I was pinging him. So I do apologize for that. I think Skeptical, you definitely got the skills, and I really hope you keep playing in the tournaments if they do end up occurring next year. Speaking of which, if you'd like to support the tournaments and support them for next year, please do go over to my Patreon channel and check out some of the tiers I have on there. There's a special tier just for supporting the tournaments, SCS Tournament Series. So if you want to donate, go ahead and head over there and check that out. It is patreon.com/NITEOM, NITEOM, and you can support my channel there. But of course, as always, please do give a like to this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. There's so many of you watching, but I'm not getting that many comments or likes. What's up with that, people? But anyway, I always appreciate the views. The views are always great thing to see. As for this match, we are done. I have one more match to record for today, and it will be uploaded the same day. So I will see you very, very shortly in the next video. Thank you guys, and have a good day.